Hi everyone! Today we're going to talk about strategies on overcoming our failures in order to reach our success. So let's just dive right in on our strategies. First, the word failure. That is one strategy that we need to readjust and get a new perspective on. You're like, what? Failure? Yes, that 7-letter word is a bad word. We need to think of it in a different light. It says right here, the word failure is often used to describe a situation in which your desired goals were not realized at a specific point in time. So much like when you were younger, you went and checked out or you went and signed up for a sports team, and you didn't make the team, you didn't make the cut. It didn't mean that you failed, right? It just means that you didn't have the skill set for the game or good enough skill set. So you need to fine tune them. You need to hone in on what your skill set was. Or perhaps how many of us went and applied for a job and yet somebody else got the job. It didn't mean that we failed, right? Perhaps it wasn't what they were looking for. Perhaps our skill set didn't suit the job. It didn't mean that we failed just because we didn't get the job. Okay, so let's break down some of the ideas behind unhealthy views of failure. It's not a negative. Failure, they have it as a negative thing. So, and we are programmed. So I have to think of it, to unthink the word failure as being negative. That's going to take effort, right? So how I like to look at failure, one of my strategies is to get to my goals and my success is not to think of it as failure. Instead, think of it as a learning curve or a learning tool, right? How many times have we stumbled, right? But we didn't fail. We just stumbled. And in the meantime, we learned something along the way. So that's why I call it a learning curve, right? And sometimes what I like to think too is that we don't have to go through life making mistakes and having massive learning curves. What we can also do is learn from other people's avenues that they've taken, right? And what their outcomes are. So if we don't like their outcome, then perhaps their direction isn't for us, right? So whatever our goals and our success need to be, we need to look as somebody that is already there, right? They say birds of a feather flock together. I think it's very similar, because if you're wanting to go north, so you get into the hanging around people that are going north, and they will teach you how to fly north, right? But the people flying north can't teach you to go south because they know how to fly north. It's very I know what an example to use, but I really feel that it's that simple. So I always call it a learning curve, and I love learning from other people. That way it helps me. Well, I have also depression and anxiety, so I could imagine adding on top of it the learning curve, if you will, right? So, and another thing, what I like to think of it too is, yeah, it's a learning curve. But what I like to think is, in order to get success, we cannot base our outcomes on who we are, right? We can't say, like, if your goal is to, just hypothetically, right, to make a certain dollar amount a year, right, your annual income, and let's say you were job hunting, you went to college, you did all this stuff, but yet you couldn't make that dollar amount a year, doesn't mean that you failed. So we can't attach our self-worth and our self-worth to the outcomes, because the outcomes is a mixture of things, right? It's not just about the avenues we take, but it becomes about life, other people that cross your path, other obstacles, other avenues in life, right? So we can't, just because we have not completely achieved those specific goals, even if it's like a career, doesn't mean that we failed as a person. So we got to learn also to detach our self-worth to the outcomes. Because let me tell you something, somebody that works at a fast food restaurant and somebody who is a CEO, their self-worth is their self-worth, right? I mean, they're not any less, or somebody's not any greater than somebody else. I'm just saying, I feel that we're all, maybe you disagree. However, I really feel that we are all equal and we all should be treated as if, right? So we cannot, okay, maybe that's another topic for another day. However, our failures cannot be viewed as failures. They need to be viewed as learning curves. It says, the word failure is often used to describe a situation in which your desired goals were not realized in a specific point of time. There are many reasons that could have played a part in your goal not being realized, but absolutely none of these have to do with the value of a person. Remember that. None of them have to do with your value. You are worthy, right? You are wonderful. You are worth something, right? You're priceless, actually, right? Okay. Let's break down some of the ideas behind unhealthy views of failure. And we already talked about one of them, like if you're trying to reach out for a job or a sporting event, right? It just means that it's simply under those specific circumstances at that point in time in your life, right? You needed a different skill set, or you needed to up your skill set, right? So think about those things. You didn't fail, okay? You didn't fail because we didn't get to where we are right now in life by always being a failure, right? We learned by having learning curves. We learned by trial, right? Trial. Trying it out. I didn't say that's the easiest way to go. Hopefully we had people along the way to guide us and we learned from them. However, you're not a failure. So once we start understanding the word, what the failure really is, it's a negative word. Once we understand that point, then I feel that we can make progress to the beginning, or to the beginning. We can make progress to our success, right? We can start to make progress. But we cannot start to make a successful progress if we already think the outcome could be a failure, right? Because we're already dooming ourselves. So it's either a learning curve or you're going to achieve the desired outcome that you want. Either way, you are not a failure. You know why? Because you went for it. You went for it regardless. And that takes a lot. That says a lot about a person that goes for their goals, that continues on regardless. If they achieve a certain outcome, they go on. That tells me that you're not a failure, right? That tells me that you are determined. That tells me that you are creative because you're going to try other avenues, right? That tells me that you're willing to get out of your comfort zone. You know how I also like to think of failure? If you quit, is only when you fail. But here you are right now. You haven't quit. You're here listening, right? You're here thinking. You haven't quit. You may have paused, but you have not quit. So therefore, my friend, you are not a failure. Okay. What much of the pain stems from not reaching a desired goal is attached to outcomes. If you define your value and worth as a person by whether or not you make a sports team or get a specific job, you're setting yourself up for that ugly 7-letter word, failure. And which you're not. We've discussed you are not, right? It is for this same reason those who value trying their best, regardless of the outcome, have more confidence and unwavering views of themselves. So if we just keep getting back up and keep trying, right, we will have a more desired outcome that we're wanting, that we are striving for. But it all starts in our mind. Positive life, positive thoughts, positive life, right? It really does. Many people also, perhaps maybe that's where the phrase comes from, dress for success, right? You don't, like you get up in the day and you don't, well, maybe now since COVID, people are in their pajamas doing job interviews and whatnot. But back in my day, right, that we would get dressed, perhaps even some people called it in their Sunday best, right? To go and look for a job, to even go pick up an application for dress for success, right? Okay. And I know a lot of us, the millennials, are like, what? You had to go somewhere and pick up? Yeah, we did. There was no texting and all that back in the day. We literally went in, sat down at the table, filled out an application. Okay. Okay. Yes, I'm telling my age. Okay. You too can have this view once you realize that you are not responsible for like all the circumstances that come around you, right? You're not. Because like I said, like I've been to college and I'm this and I'm that, right? And yet I don't make $3 million a year. You see what I mean? It doesn't mean I failed. I just do the best I can with the best that I have, right? And I just keep moving forward. Okay. And you know what? Also, sorry, I'm not trying to scold you, but also if we have reasonable expectations, that is very helpful, my friend. Reasonable expectations of ourselves. Just saying. Okay. Mind you, if you... even if this video is encouraging you or if being any kind of helpful, go ahead and hit the like button, leave a comment. If you're not currently doing anything in your power to achieve an outcome, then what is a better time than today to do it, right? We need to get up, get motivated, and start this. And once we start, like, success doesn't always happen overnight, right? More so than not, it does, or more so, it does not start just overnight. So once we start this mindset, we got to continue with it and continue with it. And one of my favorite things to say is you got to be relentless with it, right? Be relentless with your effort. And then sometimes, my friends, sometimes when you're on this journey over here to have this specific outcome, another gift or another avenue comes to you, and then it opens a new door for you because you are so motivated, right? It opens new doors for you. So it's kind of like unwrapping a present and waiting to see what pops out. It's kind of like that, being relentless with our determination and keep going and keep trying and keep going and keep learning. You just never know what's going to come your way. You don't. Because why? We don't have control over the obstacles or the avenues or the people around us. That's why. All we can do is the best as we can do with what we have at the time. Okay. Let's see. It may be worthwhile to take a step back if you feel that you're overwhelmed, okay? If you feel that you're overwhelmed and you do want to throw in the towel, yeah, take a step back. Absolutely. Pause. But do not quit. Pause, but do not quit. Why? Because you are not a failure. And because you are worth it. You're worth the pause. regroup, do again. If you have to rewatch this video 17 times for any kind of moral support here or any kind of support, be my guest, be my friend, and do so, okay? Okay. It says, in order to overcome, listen up, in order to overcome failure, what do we need to do? That you must experience a drastic shift in your outlook on the meaning of failure and success. Really think about it. Break out your pen and paper, people. Break out your pen and paper and think about failure and success. How to look at those things in a different light. Is your success reasonable? Is it too much over the top, right? Not everybody can be a social media star, right? Just saying, not everybody can be a social media star. Okay, and also when you think of your failures, think of, don't write, I wouldn't write failures at the top of your paper. I would be like learning curves. These are my learning curves. And then write down those experiences. And then you can even write down what you learned from those, right? Because what you learn from those, you're going to take with you on your journey to success, right? So write them down and implement them. That's just one strategy, my friend. It will be helpful. I tell you, it will be helpful. Okay. Never give up. Never give up. And keep going. Keep trying. Keep doing. Keep learning. Yes, I paused because I really wanted that to resonate with you. I really want you to keep going. I know you have it in you. I know you do. I know you do. And I'm speaking I'm the person with depression, anxiety, PTSD. So I can relate those hard mornings, those hard days, those sleepless nights. I get it. But you can keep going. It doesn't have to be at a fast pace. It doesn't, as long as you're making small steps, keep going. You got this. Please believe in yourself. You got this. Okay. Do the best you can and focus on the process, not the outcome. Focus on the process, not the outcome. Because sometimes the outcome, it can make us weigh us down like, oh, you know how many steps that takes to get there? We need to focus on the progress and the process, right? Because the more we focus on the process, the more we can implement what we have learned, right? And the more that we can go in the right direction to gain the outcome that you want. So, focus on the process. Okay. The final result will be success. For those of you that want to challenge it, be my guest. Challenge these strategies, what I've shared with you today. Please challenge it. And if you are needing some other kind of encouragement, whether it be because perhaps, okay, SheCouldBeYou.com. I have e-guides that break down different obstacles or different things in life, right? Hard times in life, hard moments in life, from being a step parent to being too overwhelmed, stepping out your front door, to learning how to be somebody social, to for financial stability. If you need the extra motivation, I do invite you to check out SheCouldBeYou.com. Check out the store and see if there's something there that can keep you going in a positive manner, okay? Because those she guides and she tools, the e-guides, yes, it's veered toward women, but let me tell you, it is just downright life, good living, right? And it helps you. Even if you have PTSD, anxiety, depression, it can help you. So anyways, that's my spew for today. Next week, first I want to say thank you everybody for joining this channel, Life Accounts and Growing Pains. We love you, having you come into the community. I just want to see it grow and expand, and I want this to be a place of a judgment-free place. I just want us to be the best us in 2022. And I welcome every single one of you, and thank you for your kind words lately, and thank you for the likes. I really do appreciate you. The next video, I decided to make it a mystery video. Whee! So you have to stay tuned. Please stay tuned and keep an eye out for that mystery video. And I will see you on the next video.